Welcome back to the MVP's Lounge, y'all. All right, so this is an impromptu recording here. Not gonna lie to you, I never, ever really record Collision anymore because, well, Collision is usually a it's trash. It's usually trash. They usually have some kinda, maybe smidget good on Collision, but normally they just be throwing a bunch of BS on that TV show, and I just don't feel like watching it, to be honest with you. If it's not Dynamite, I'm usually not watching it. But somebody recommended me to watch Collision this past Saturday because, well, they said apparently it was good. So I was like, okay, I don't really want to watch, so let me see if there's a highlight reel of it. And what is it? Who would have thought? But AEW actually on their main channel on YouTube, if you go on there, they actually have a highlight reel of Collision. Just a video that gives you pretty much everything that happened on the show that's important, and they gave you the finish to the matches, and they just they gave the gist of what happens. So I was like, all right, cool. I'll watch this video. It's like 8 to 10 minutes long, so I'll check it out. I'll see what happens. So I watched all 8 minutes and some change of it, and surprisingly, it seemed like it was one of those throwaway kind of shows. But you were able to see important people. Let's put it that way. So like, let's say you went to a Collision show, like that's in your area. Let's just say Collision's in your area, and you went to it. It was actually a decent little show. Let's say if you're a fan of, I don't know, let me think. Let's just say you're a fan of Swerve Strickland. Yeah, you get to see Swerve, but he's up against Shane Taylor of Shane Taylor Promotions. And then you got Nana out here doing some gambling work on the outside. And then Tony Schiavone's getting in there, throwing bills up in there like I had gambling too. It was getting kind of funny, I ain't gonna lie. You get to do some funny shenanigans on Collision. So yeah, Tony Schiavone, Nana, and the people out there with Shane Taylor Promotions gambling on the side of the ring on who gonna win the match. Yeah, eventually Swerve hits old boy Taylor with the stomp on the apron, house call, and then GG's. But yeah, you get to have cool stuff like that. You get to see your favorites wrestle occasionally. To be honest. Why not show up on Collision to watch Swerve hemp up Shane Taylor? Why not? Let's see what else we got here on this here show. Yes, we got Gates of Agony, one of those tag teams I talked about the other day, up against Kevin Knight and Speedball Mike Bailey. So apparently they're going to be a tag team, I guess, going forward. Hey, not mad at that being a tag team. I just feel like Kevin Knight, separated himself from Kushida. They were a team. So going from a team to a single guy back into a team, don't know how I feel about that. Hey, if he wants to, sure. Again, tag team division does need a little more difference in there. There's some weak tag teams in there, so also get some better ones. But yeah, they work extremely well as a tag team, and they got Gates of Agony about the paint. Gates of Agony, they're the fake Samoan-looking guy. Big, brolic, Samoan-looking dudes. But they just always lose. I mean, I don't know what the hell you want to do with them. It's at some point, you got to do something with them, right? Or not. Jon Moxley was up against AR Fox, and he choked the hell out of AR Fox after spiking him on top of his head with a pile driver. Immediately following that match, he set out the warning to Hangman, saying that he was going to beat him to the point that he leaves the company. Yeah, that's going to be kind of crazy. Hey, you talk crazy to Hangman. Not gonna lie. Will Moxley do that? I don't know. I'm not sure. We'll see. This was the main event, but I'm gonna get it out the way because it really wasn't really the main event, ever being honest here. 8 women's tag match. Thunder Rosa, Queen Amanega, Queen Amanada, Anna Jay, and Ty Mello up against Penelope Ford, Athena, Megan Bayne, and Thekla. Just a combination of everybody that's in the feud right now. Athena and Megan Bayne were both trying to out-or farm each other and outdo each other in the ring, even though they're on the same team. This was kind of like a cluster fest of just women doing a bunch of moves on each other and wilding, I'm not gonna lie. But the heels got the W because apparently Red Velvet is the ROH TV champion, and she showed up to assist Athena by sliding her belt, and she used it on Thunder Rosa to roll her up for a pin after she smacked her upside the head with the belt. So yeah, big dose for the heels, but faces, they got hemmed up, honestly, majority of this match. Let's go over to some more important events. Let's go to a backstage segment. We have Chris Statlander. She again is approached by Wheeler Yuta. Hey, Wheeler Yuta's hair is starting to grow every time we see him. Like, it's going to be like down to his back by the time like the end of the year hits. But Yuta pulls up trying to coerce Chris Statlander into joining the Death Riders again. And Chris was not having any of it. Told this nigga off and then pushed him into a wall. But as soon as she turns around, she bumps directly into Jon Moxley. Drops her phone and everything. And Moxley picks up the phone, looks her dead in her soul, and says, "Don't you ever." And then repeats it again, "Don't you ever." Now, by the way, before I finish what he says, okay, you could barely hear what he was saying in this moment because I don't know what was going on with the production crew, but it sounded like their mic wasn't fully set up, and you started hearing background noise of other things happening, which was weird. So you could barely hear what he said. But for the most part, he said, "Don't ever let anybody tell you what you can and can't do or be in this business." Something along those lines. So instead of saying a warning or threat, give her some great advice, which different approach. Again, pretty sure they're still trying to coerce her into joining the Death Riders and maybe even somebody else. But we'll get to that in another video. This is something to keep your eye on if you're going into All In. Man, oh man. Timeless Toni Storm. What a promo she cut on Mercedes Moné. Letting her know straight up, she is not another mofo. She is not just a simple piece of belt that Mercedes will collect again. And once she faces her, she makes one mistake and it's over for her. So Toni Storm just dropping a gigantic bomb on top of Mercedes' head, letting her know straight up, hey, you ain't never faced anybody like me before. And she will have to kill her to win. Hey man, Toni Storm, #1 female wrestler in the business today. I don't care who you try to throw in. You could throw in any name out there in any company. It doesn't matter. Toni Storm is on top. Point blank, period.
Mercedes, I am not some other motherfucker.
First and foremost, okay? So, shouts out to Toni Storm. Shouts out to her. All right, what else do we have on this godforsaken collision? Oh, yeah. We also had this trios match. Didn't really matter, to be honest with you. Ram was teaming with Willow and was teaming with my boy Mark Briscoe. And they got their W over 3 other niggas that I don't even feel like mentioning right now at this point, but they got their W. That's all that matters. They got their W. Shouts out to Mark Briscoe with the Froggy Bow with the W. All right. Let's get to the last main important thing of this whole show. Main important thing of this entire show. Kazuchika Okada. That's right. Kazuchika Okada is now part of the Don Callis family. Okay, so that's the first bad, and then we'll get to the good, okay? Why is Don Callis forming an entire Thanos-level team? This man has every single goddamn member on this roster on his faction. Like, what is that? I talked about this many times before. This man has too many people in his faction. What is happening? Now you add Okada to the faction? Jesus Christ, man. Jesus Christ. This is too much. Don Callis is everywhere. Like, way too much, man. Way too much. So they come out there, they recap what happened with Kenny, and they point out that Kenny's got no assistants, no friends behind him. And then Mark Briscoe comes out there. Mark Briscoe says, well, I'm Kenny's friend. And in fact, Kenny has lots of friends that will back him up. And that other friend happens to be his golden lover, Kota Ibushi. That's right, Kota Ibushi has returned to AEW in prime shape, or farming like crazy out here. Crazy. Man pulls up, takes out Josh Alexander.
Alexander trying to take Ibushi out, and instead boom! Perfect strike.
Ease, and then takes down Okada. And then Aura forms some more. Okada and company have to escape and run away. And while they're backstage leaving, they said, okay, Okada, you want to pull up and help? All right. We're going to put you in the same hospital next to your golden lover, Kenny Omega. Oh, man. Bushi's back. He's in great shape. Last time we saw him, he was looking crazy. And I think it was because he was still, like, kind of injured. And, yeah, most of these Japanese wrestlers, they kind of put themselves through the ringer, which they really shouldn't do. They should keep themselves in great shape. But, again, they try to stay on TV a lot. But neither here nor there. Ibushi's back. He's in full health, and we love to see it. All right, we love to see it. A lot's going to be happening in these next coming weeks for AEW as we lead into All In Texas. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share for more AEW related content. Hey, I ain't covering WWE no more. All right, until WWE does something great, lit, fire, game changing, I ain't covering it. We're covering AEW going forward. All right, just need a heads up. So again, if you enjoyed the video, like, comment, subscribe, share as always, and I will see you next time in the MVP's Lounge. Deuces. Deuces.
So I'm going to support him. I'm going to lift him up, and I'm going to be there for him. Because I see the way he fights. I see the way that he works. And I know who he is as a person, and that's all I have to say to address him.
On USA, characters welcome.